Hey YouTube, honestly, I don't even know what I'm about to call this. I think today I'm just gonna rant, but I do want to talk a bit about but that's probably gonna be tomorrow. No, no, it's it might have to be tomorrow or the next actually because today I wanna clear some stuff up. Um, that's what I did yesterday though. Do I continue that or do I just get a topic? I think I think it'll be half and half. I'll talk about AI half and then I'll talk about the rest half. Why am I giving you guys this info and not giving Twitch? Well, no, I'm going live now. Okay, I'll just say ranting. Not ranting actually. I'm not gonna rant. I'm just gonna say um let's discuss. I'm gonna actually call this talk shows and podcast now. Talk shows and podcast. There we go. Confirm and go live. Right. I think I'm 1 minute late. It's 9:01 right now. I'm 1 minute late, but everything should still be fine. Everything should still be fine. Right. Hello. It's me again. It's me again, and I'm back. It's me again, and I'm back. I'm back. You see, anytime I do this, I don't know. I'm literally facing here, but I'm talking, but I'm not really looking at you guys. I'm looking at my editor. So what if instead of this, I do it like this, so I can really be direct, face to face, anytime I'm talking, like I'm speaking directly to you guys, right? But it's still positioned away from here, right? That's you guys, but this is myself, and I look at myself too much. So I don't know what to do. Should I do it like this, or should I keep doing it the other way? And I do like this way better though, because this is new right now, and I'm doing it on stream. So I don't know what to. I don't know what to do. And I prefer looking up to not down. I don't like looking down. So I'm just gonna leave it here for now, and then I'll readjust after, right? So there we go. Okay. All right. There's a couple bits and pieces to get into today. First of all, as I said before, I don't know what the situation is gonna be like with the daily streams. I don't know if I don't know if I can stream Morocco. I don't know what the Wi-Fi and everything is looking like there. So I'm good here, but I'm gonna try and make arrangements to be able to stream there. I'm bringing all of this with me. I'm not taking the set though. This is a bedroom. I'm not taking this. This is not gonna come with me. But I can take the laptop. So with that being said, what else do I need to clear up first? Like announcements. Um, right, right. I was actually doubting my niche, not my niche. I was doubting like I was trying to bend or try to dilute what I'm trying to do here. Right? Let's make it very clear. I cannot dilute this because I was thinking, oh, but this is. And the reason why I was trying to dilute it is because of my goal. My goal is to build a community around the type of things that I'm talking about, right? But that goal, it's reachable. It's reachable. Although the game that every content creator is playing that is sort of trying to hit like sort of viewership heights is there are certain things you have to do. Like for streaming in general, I discovered this, like you have to be good at just chatting, right? Which, you know, you have to like for a desktop streamer, because that's what I'm doing. I'm on my desktop. I'm not going around everywhere. No, I don't do that all the time. I'm desktop. So you have to actually be good at just chatting. You have to play video games. Every streamer play video games. You have to. So I'm basically being a terrible streamer. But right, I'm trying to come here, present myself as a streamer, and not play video games. So that's just friction. So I'm trying to grow my streams or whatever the case may be. I have to play video games. But I don't want to do that. So obviously I'm not going to change. Well, I don't want to change that goal because it's nice to have that goal, right? It's nice to have something tangible that you're working towards. Although I don't want to dilute the content that I'm giving out. I'm not gonna sit here and start playing games and then just keep doing that and then do that over and then new game, because there's so many areas to like, grab with that type of content, and like it takes a while to really do that, right? So I don't want to do that, and I'm gonna try and not do that. Not try, but I'm just going to not do that. Okay. And also another thing, I need to be able to really discuss who I am, because that's going to sort of who I am and where I'm at in terms of sort of my own like my own limits, the limits to like what I know and where I get my information from. That's something I just thought of there actually, right? Where I get my info from. I need to really specify, because I'm talking about not watching this and that on social media, but like most of the time that's where I get my info from, and that's not great, right? So in university, obviously you read a lot of like you read read all sorts of different types of sources, right? You read just many different places, right? Like research papers, conference papers, news articles. Like there's a lot of stuff that you read, books, right, to get your information. But like current affairs and all that, I really haven't been finding myself reading all that much lately, because I'm trying to do a lot more different stuff. So I haven't really been. There's no like area where I'm just like, this is where I'm getting my information from. Mostly right now is books, but to super like no, mostly right, the getting like a lot of information in a short amount of time, that is still YouTube for some random reason. And the only reason I'm there, YouTube grabs your attention a lot. So the reason I'm there is like to figure out, okay, how I'm going to like set up my own YouTube and how I'm going to actually like be on the platform and work well, right? But when I go there to do that, after I'm done doing that, right? I just see one video that I might be interested in. I just watch it and I'm just there. And yesterday, like I was there like I was just there for such a long time, and that's not great. I just keep myself more busy. Yeah. So, wait, where's my? I need my. Give me 1 second. I'll be right back. Okay. I can't be licking my lips. And yes, that is why I left. Okay, what I'm gonna do today is I'm actually just thinking about that right now. I'm gonna discuss sort of where I would like to get my information from and what is limiting that. And then for the rest of the video, I'm just gonna talk about like the world right now, how I see it, and then some bit of AI. No, yeah, I'll do that. Okay. With that being said, let's get into it. Okay. Good. Okay, let's go. First, I need to open up whiteboard, right, and then scene 2. Oh, this is what we did yesterday. I actually need to save this. Let's save this. Save to disk. It's untitled. I should probably change that. no wine holder. Why can't I find this? Why can't I ever find this? Okay, never mind. How do you delete canvas? Okay, delete canvas. Right. So, where do I get my information from? Right now, because hold on, let me just. Normally speaking, right, to just overhear things is like you just hear what people are saying, right? But if you don't speak with a lot of people and you're not outside all the time like me, right? I'm introverted. I like my own company. I like spending time just being by myself and understanding things that way. If there's an activity I need to do that I need people to be there, then I will. When I have free time in the past, I used to spend a lot of my free time with people just chilling, sort of having fun, whatever the case. I don't do that anymore because I don't have free time, right? I don't give myself free time because there's just so much to do. Obviously, it's good to have a healthy balance, but, right, no, I'm going to also regurgitate and sort of say that it's good to have a healthy balance. But for myself, right now, in this sort of period of my life, there's no healthy balance. I need to just try and just keep doing as much as I can to see the dividends of that. But healthy balance is very needed. What I also have realized now, and I'm yapping, I'm going into different tangents. I've also realized that yes, burning out is a real thing. It's bad. Don't bite more than you can chew, otherwise you will burn out and you wouldn't be able to do anything. You will find yourself just being like, what the flip, why can't I do anything? It's because you're burnt out. You did so much work and it's just, so that's why rest is so important, okay? But rest is part of the program. Rest is important. That doesn't mean that leisure is important, right? Rest can be sleeping. Rest can be taking a little power nap, sleep, same thing. Rest can also be like, just, sitting in silence and just, let your body like reset. That's rest, okay? Leisure is different. Leisure is like, actively going out of your way to, I guess enjoy yourself. So that right now, and I think probably for the rest of the year, that's not gonna be the case. Now, if there's like event where it's like sort of like displays itself as leisure, but in that event or in that like endeavor, it could be a means to getting something out of it, then you probably see me there. But anything else for this year, I think also for next year, like that's just not me. Okay, right now these periods of time is just grind mode, ultra just grind mode. So that's me, right? I've chosen it. This is the way I want it for me, and that's how I'm gonna have it, right? Now, if you're working and your work is enjoyable, which is what I want, instead of actually just enjoying yourself doing leisure, I want to enjoy the work that I do. Like for this, for instance, right? This helps me sort of articulate myself as well as combine everything that I know and things that I want to know into a very nice packaged area, right? And this packaged area is going online, so I'm gonna have it forever. It's like a documentary, but also it's also a fun activity because if people, I'm allowing for people to be able to come in and to interact with me, so that's also like good within of itself, and I'm also challenging myself to try and build a community, right? So I consider this work, but it's enjoyable. It can go into something else, but it's enjoyable regardless of where it's at, right? So that's work for me. Now, behind all this, I still do other work where I'm trying to dip my fingers into many different pies, right? So that's the other side of the work. So I want to just do things that I genuinely enjoy that can bring back dividends, whether it's a community, whether it's knowledge, whether it's like, that's an important one, but like, it doesn't matter, right? I'm just doing things to bring about value and in return, get something back. Okay? That might have come out wrong. Let me rephrase what I said. Okay. I don't want to do activities, right, that don't really challenge me, that don't really challenge or motivate me. I don't want to do those activities. You know what I mean? That's just not where my head is at right now in this period of time. What are you doing? don't. Right, that's just not me at the moment. Okay. So yes. And what? Why did I take this off and come here? I genuinely don't remember. What was I trying to? What was I talking about before? This is gonna happen a couple times. What was I talking about before? Oh yeah, where do I get my information from? Right. So, as it stands, oh yeah, I said I was speaking about sort of you overhearing sort of info or news or whatever the case may be, sort of current like recent events from other people when, like, let's say for instance you're in your school cafeteria or you're in your work, you're in your lunch area at work, right? You overhear things from people, all right? That can be extraordinarily amplified using the internet. Now, most of last year, this whole thing, I was nowhere to be found. I wasn't here. I also wasn't in those cafeterias, right? I also wasn't. I didn't care. I was just reading books. This is where most of my information came from. Books. Simply just books. Now, what did I realize about myself by reading books? And I also did obviously different stuff as well. I obviously communicate with people because you can't live without communication. But what did I find out by how I read? Let's drag it to a different place, right? So, books. First things first. I only started reading properly in 2024. Before 2024, right? Before 2024, I only read as a means to an end. Books didn't really matter to me. I could get information very, 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 very quickly using what? The internet, right? Using the internet. But the thing about the thing that's funny about the internet is that you actually get a lot of info, but there's only so much that is actually saved. You are just bombarded with so much information, but you think you're sort of learning things, but it's just scattered info. You don't know how to retrieve it when you need it because you don't retain it or store it properly, right? But the thing about that is, right? Obviously, you keep aspects of it. It's like it's unfinished knowledge. It's like you keep small aspects that sort of, yeah. Okay, let me say it like this, right? It's dormant, right? The info is there to some degree, but it's like it's faded. It's blurry, right? It's blurry, right? Now you getting access to the information in your head when you sort of just consume a lot of content from the internet, right? And we're gonna get into some brain rot content as well. But let's just say productive information on the internet. Let's just go with that, right? Anytime you get these productive information on the internet, they're very, very, very blurry. Unless you have that net that we spoke about in like one of the earlier streams, unless you have that net of like your whole sort of worldview and how you view the world like as a line, you can see the patterns based on how well you read history, right? How aware you are of where you sit or where your generation sits in that history timeline, right? That helps you know what the flip is coming in the future, or enables you or makes you confident or comfortable to, I guess, come up or formulate some rough idea of what could potentially happen in the future, right? So that's how it goes. So going back to the information from the internet, right? What that does, it makes you believe that you have that capacity, but you don't. You don't have that capacity. Everybody has access to this internet, and again, it's what percent did I say it was on the other stream? Like around 30% of people in the whole globe, considering like the whole world, has no, actually, it should be more. It should be more because internet is very proliferated. So I actually need to probably revisit that that thing when I talked about the internet. I did on one of those streams, but yeah, I need to revisit it. But anyway, what am I saying? Right. And the thing is, I'm going to be speaking about the lore, right, of how my past streams went, and how this stream is gonna go as well. So if you haven't caught up on the streams, it's like, how do I really talk to make a video stand out for people who are new, right? While also um having things that I've said before, like bringing them back up. It's gonna be hard. But I'm going on a new tangent. Okay, let's stick to what I was saying. What was I saying? Right, you gaining information, being able to access a wide range of info on the internet quickly makes you think that you can actually sort of harness that power of having all of that and being able to retrieve it. But the thing we don't have is that retrieval process. If someone asks you a question about something you just watched or something you watched 3 days ago, you will only be able to have very, like, extraordinarily blurry. You can recollect it only, like, in pieces, very minimal scattered pieces that are just incoherent, right? That's the only way you're gonna recognize and regurgitate it, because you're just consuming so much, and there's just so much for your brain to handle. There's not enough brain power for you to just be able to carefully, like, store them in your brain. It's just not there, right? So I noticed that. I was kind of bullshitting myself in terms of how much I know, because I was just like, oh yeah, okay, yeah, ooh, yeah, more info, this, that. But though that's knowledge that is not being used. It's not being used. So I then started trying to diversify where I get my information from, because this is also the time where I started overhearing about sort of brain rot and the damages of social media and this and that, because I just didn't care before that, right? So then I started reading books, because I was actually given a couple books by my friend. She bought me like a couple. Like, she was like, if you read all of these books, it would drastically change everything for you. Like, whoa. So I started engaging in the process of reading. I was reading, right? That's what I never did before. I don't think I remember a moment in my life where I actively wanted to be bored. But what reading does, it makes you so bored to the point where it's like, yo, no. Also, actually, also, some books are actually more exciting and entertaining. Like, they're just, if you actually know how to read properly, books are way more dopamine inducing than some of these movies. But it's the thing that releases that is just your ability to really, really, like, produce images based on words. So what books does, it okay, no, what movies and videos do, it lets your brain relax, right? It doesn't allow your brain to actually actively sort of develop images from the words. It doesn't let your brain, like, create the scene behind each narrative, like, piece, or each sentence. You know what I mean? Each sentence has a scene to it, like an image, right? If it's a good author, right, the author is trying to portray something happening, right? Narrating a particular action. So what your brain does is your brain transcribes that into images, and the images are like, whoa. But if you read extraordinarily slowly, you're gonna. It's like instead of the movie going at 60 frames per second, it's going at like three frames per second. And that's the thing. Where I don't know how to sort of equate that to sort of the average reader, right? But I think I heard a video that someone said the average reader in the U.S. Now, this is not everywhere, but in the U.S. is like grade 5. I don't know what that is, but I'm gonna think it's like a secondary school, like year 5. That's what I'm gonna think. But a year 5 in secondary school is not that. It's not that bad, actually. So, but that's the average in America, right? So when you're slow at reading, you're not able to really capture these images quickly to actually make a very action-packed scene. It just doesn't work, right? You can read it slow and then come back over and read it again, and it's like better and it's like more thing, but it's not as fun, right? So I wanted to see how much I can enjoy books, right, while gaining information from them. Now, I started, why did I say it like that? I don't know. But I started in 2024, right, reading books. And to be honest, books, the thing about books, it helps you articulate yourself very well. Even if you're still trash like me, it just, because you're used to words, right? Because listen, I went through school and college, and we had to read a lot, understand a lot, and reproduce a lot. But we had tools that made like that process so much easier and faster. We didn't have to read the whole book or search for the answers. It just was a PowerPoint. We just had to look, pick out some pieces, go there, memorize those pieces, answer them in the exam, maybe understand some stuff and explain it properly, maybe write an essay. But those essays weren't really to like a crazy standard, you know. It just wasn't. So what I'm thinking is that as you're sort of going through those stages of school, you're getting all that you need to get from education. But it's not the case, right? It's literally, school is basic. It's very, 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 very basic. So if school is the only bit of credential you have in terms of, okay, all my education comes from just my school, and not that you have this sort of intrinsic motivation. I don't know why I'm going into different topics, but it's fine. We just keep rolling. We'll see where we go. Right? If you don't have sort of intrinsic motivation, right, to just pick up a book and read it, or just think about something you want to do, look at the sort of roadmap to get in there, like actively engage in material that allows you to get there or gives you sort of the capacity to get there, then it's like it's hard for you to really soak in or get to mastery if you're solely relying on the things that school gives you, because those, like, what school gives you is handpicked to suit a wide range of people. But you know yourself well, you know your capacity to do. So school is like a basic requirement for a large group of people. But if you think you're above the average requirement, then you need to go and actually engage in other things outside of school, not these leisure activities, which I did, but genuine, like, sort of, the genuine pursuit of knowledge, right? So, going back to this is sort of what how I think about the difference between books and sort of videos, or just knowledge in general, where you get information from. So with this, I genuinely wanted to see if I could become the type of person to prefer books over any other means of information. What I can tell you is that this is not me. This is not me. I'm still very, like, I will still put my hand on my heart and say books are so, like, they, like, you cannot really get the full message until you know the full message. And the full message isn't is most of it, like, the full message most of the time you cannot get it in one video, or 3 or 4 or 12 or 11. The best thing to do is get someone who is, like, very credible to tell you everything you know about a subject in a book. Read that book, read it again, understand that book very well. And if you genuinely, right, soak in the information, you'll be able to, I guess, regurgitate everything. But the thing about me, right, I wanted to read, but I don't like going back over stuff. I don't care. I don't care, right? So what I found was, I read, like, I got information, right, and it was good, it was rich info. But I got it very slowly, because it's like, what the flip? I'm spending like weeks reading these books. Like, I could just watch a video on this in like 10 minutes or 15 minutes. But I'll spend weeks, sometimes months, reading like large books. So it's just, I looked at the pace of people sort of around my age range, and people read so fast. I'm a slow reader, and I used to be much slower before. So it's like, it takes me too long to read. But the thing is, now I can read fast, but anytime I read fast, I don't soak in as much info as I can. So it's like, what the flip? It just annoyed me, because I would read it, but it would be very slow, but I would still forget what was said in chapter 2, right? I'll be in chapter like 19 or 20. I forgot what it says chapter 2 and 7 and 3. So I'm like, okay, I'm slow at reading, but my memory is terrible. Why is that the case? Maybe because of all the days or the years, should I say, of video watching and not doing it, right? Not engaging in that process. But, right, slowly but surely. And also, while doing that, seeing sort of how not great I am at that, it actually sort of, I guess, humbles you. And it's exciting to still keep reading. But I'm trying to sort of like see like the best way. Okay, let's say if I and this is what I not decided, but this is the idea surrounding like how I'm gonna get information. Okay, if I really want to know something about a subject, right, like a lot, right, I would read a book because it tells you a full detail from somebody who actually knows and done research. Because every book is written based on 100 different books or 100 different like other pieces of other sources, right? So it has like a full block, like the full thing there. So if I want to know that, I read a book. If I want to get a snapshot, I won't watch a video, right? I'll read an article. And the Medium is an app that allows people to just write like I guess journal entries. But there are some very sophisticated people in Medium. And the same friend that gave me like my sort of first collection of books, it told me about Medium as well. It's like a really just a snapshot of what it is. And also, I thought I could use these two systems to just get rid of my fixation on watching videos. But in that sphere, video still has a part to play because it's fast. You know, you can get a snapshot from Medium, but it's fast and it's visual and it's in your face and it's you can follow it along, just like as if you have the person in front of you teaching you. But it's easy to post a video, right? So anybody, credible or not credible, could post a video, sort of acting like they're credible, but just not being the case. So how do you sort of verify if information from a video is valid? You really can't, because even credible people with like adequate credentials could get it wrong, right? Because it's not going through like a multi-step process for it to get to you. So for me, after I said, look, bro, don't like take everything I'm saying with a grain of salt. But right. I think I had where I wanted to go with this, but then it just completely changed. Anyway, I started reading in 2024. Oh. Ugh. But last year, right? Where is? Oh. Pen. Okay. But last year, what did I do? Last year, I sort of left everything. All other forms of info. Like I don't have socials. I stopped watching YouTube, and this was actually very, very hard for me to stop doing because I was genuinely addicted. But I never watched TikTok. I'll keep saying this. This is like actually an accomplishment for me. Never watched TikTok, right? Didn't have to, didn't need to. No socials, never watched TikTok. Got off YouTube, right? Got off YouTube. So, I just was in the dark, and in that time, you might think, whoa, yeah, you must have spent so much time reading so many, bro. You must have, whoa. Obviously, I had other stuff I had to do, right? I don't have too much time for leisure, as I said before, and reading is genuinely a leisure activity, right? If you let's say for instance you own a business, right, and you need to get information quickly and do something, businesses will actually opt in for just, okay, you're a genius. Tell me what I need to know in 30 minutes. Go, because if the time you're not spending doing the actual business, then you're losing out on sort of the benefits from the activity you would have been doing by learning. Obviously, learning is good, but if you actually own a business, you want to learn quickly. So you need to have a prior knowledge before you go into whatever you're going into, and not just learn to go, right? So you might think that in 2025, I read so much, like I was whoa, da, da, da. But I was just reading the same book, but it just took way too long. It took way too long. And reading Medium actually really helped because I did learn a lot about philosophy from Medium. Right, I didn't read any philosophy books. I read fiction, and the underlying themes could sort of highlight the things that I learned about philosophy from Medium. So it's like everything just connects when you do it. But these connections are made when you're not consuming so much info. Bro, I'm telling you, if I ask you to tell me the last 3 videos you watched and describe it in detail or give me like an essay on it, you will not be able to do that. You wouldn't. Because you've watched probably like 300. You probably watched 300 yesterday. And with TikTok, you've probably watched 1 million in 3 months. So it's like, yo. And then if that's the sort of very engaging, dopamine inducing piece of information, that's gonna conflict with the information you genuinely want. So if you don't have a system of how to actually store and arrange it and just sort of say, okay, just disregard these like leisure activity videos. They're informational, but I don't care about them. If you don't have that system in your mind, bro, you would genuinely lose your mind. You would not know how to do anything. Like nothing. So what I'm trying to do is try to get away from that. Now trying to like get decent at content creation. I've been and okay, this is not an excuse, right? I've been forced into sort of trying to learn from the people who know, and where do I find them? They're not in books, they're in here, right? They're on YouTube. So I need to watch you I need to watch YouTube, right? In order to learn about how to content create, how to create these kind of stuff, how to do what I need to do. And just I think today I like what I said at the start of the stream. So if you want to be a good streamer, you have to just chatting, gaming. There's 2 more. Pacing and what's the last one? And reactions. Yeah. I don't react to nothing. I'm not a reaction channel. I'm not a reaction guy. What I do is I just react. Okay. I just said I don't react to anything. I'm trying to say something about react. What I do is I just think about sort of I guess everything. There's no limitation, right? Anything can come up. Anything can come up. Obviously, I don't want to be provocative, so I don't want to talk about anything that's gonna make this and that and that. But I can talk about anything, right? Literally anything. But sensitive topics, like things it's just you just need to be credible, or you just need to have the credentials to speak on those type of topics. Like, even China had I think I've spoke about this before, but there's a ban now for content creators in China where if you don't have a degree for certain subjects, shut up. Like, just is that a good thing or no? Is that a good thing or a bad thing? I think, to be honest, it's pretty good. It's pretty good. That's just my opinion. Obviously, there's nuances behind it, but it's, in the most part, it's actually pretty good. Like, because people genuinely like trust content creators so much, right? Because the face, like, you can see them many times, and it's like you don't have to interact, and like the face becomes so familiar that you just think, oh, they just know it all. No, no, I don't know nothing. That's why I'm here. I'm here to learn some stuff about me, particularly, right? That's what I'm here for. So, yeah. What was I saying before? Can't remember. If I can't remember, I'll just go back here. Okay. Right. I left all other forms of info, socials, YouTube. Never watched any of this, right? I left all of that last year. Right? But the thing was, it wasn't like that aha moment where I was like, okay, I left that to do this other thing. But it worked because I got smarter. But I need more, right? To do what I'm trying to do, I need more info. And the only way to get it is not to just read books, because you genuinely can't read enough books. You can't. And anytime I read, I don't retain the information from books. So I have this new plan where I'll read a book very quickly, and then I'll ask ChatGPT to give me the 100 most important questions from that book. I'll sort of memorize all that info, so I just have, because when you read a book fully, right, you understand the narrative, right? What the story does, where the story goes. You understand that, right? But then to retain blocks of info, you have to engage with it. So like, grabbing some correct information and then being forced to answer it. So it's like I'll do this sort of quiz for every book I read. Maybe some books are more important. I'll do, but 100 is like the cap, right? 100 questions from the book to just be like, okay, I am well versed in this area, right? So I'll read the book fully because I need to read it fast. I know how to read fast, but I read slow so that I can really soak in the info better and understand it, right? But even when that happens, sometimes I don't even retain the information that well, right? So I have to read quickly. But I'm doing this 100 questions, 100 most important questions for each book because I just genuinely want to retain information, right? So I read fast, understand the story, what the story does, and then just do tests on like particular points that ChatGPT will give me, and I'll just retain the info like that, right? I did this formula to do really well in my last semester in uni, but and so it works. It works. So I'm gonna be doing that for different topics, bro. There's so many topics I just want to know and understand, and then also, like I said before, like reading is very time consuming, right? So when I'm doing a lot of stuff, and I'm saying, okay, I'm just gonna give an hour to this to read, bro. I don't get much done in that hour. It's like you really need a lot of time to really read. You need a lot of time, and that time right now is what I don't have too much of. Cause I'm spending my time doing other stuff. So now I need to change again. I need to really be more um careful with going with going out of time when I'm watching videos to help my content. Right. So instead I need to just pick the one video I need, make sure I put the like recommendations blocker thing on Google so that YouTube doesn't recommend me anything, and I just like search the video, watch it, and then just close my eyes and then go do a different thing. Right, I have to do that. Right, so that's gonna be like the new plan moving forward. Okay, let's see what we said before so I can remind myself. Yeah, we basically like touched on like the internet and like just having too much info. Um, right, okay, and like you getting like information from people generally about the internet, like it just increases that. And I've spoken about how I get my info now, right? So let me just retouch on that. So it's like now moving forward is gonna be okay. So primarily book for like the very important ones, right? Important, okay. Book for the important ones. Then what else? Tests for retention. Oh gosh. Yeah, test for retention, and then also yeah, and also for like this is for full info, and then for snapshot, I'll see here snapshot. I will go with sort of articles, and also it can be books, but it can also be like scientific journals as well, and papers like that. But that's for more like you genuinely want to like study the, you know. So snapshot will be articles like um news journal, and these have varying levels of um trustworthiness and ECT. ETC. Okay. Anyway, I'm lost. Right. So that. But for fast info would be videos, right? Would be videos. Oh my. Fast and Four will be videos, okay? So, yeah. But I'm going to try not watch videos because I'm telling you, the YouTube algorithm is a killer, right? So I'm just gonna try not to, okay? Or just not go on my phone at all. I have a thing on my phone like this. So if you search YouTube, right? This comes up. Sorry, I'm a terrible streamer. Okay, there we go. This comes up. Right? So that's one thing. I don't watch videos mobilely. But then I would get something like Twitch on my phone when I'm doing these streams, and it will just be there after the stream because I'll forget to delete it. And then I'll go on it to see what my stream is like and everything and all the comments, all that. But then I'll be stuck because you're so good at recommending videos that you might have an interesting. So that thing, I need to just chill out with that. Right? It worked well last year, but I need to just refocus my mind on exactly the things I need to do. So I'm gonna make that work again this year. Right? Right. Now, let's talk a bit about AI. Let's talk a bit about AI. Actually, I want to. Right. So we understand sort of why having a good area, like being aware of where you get your info from is a great thing, right? Let me actually talk about why that's important. Okay, so right. If we want to bring about value, we need to be aware of what the flip does create value. So we need to know how value was created in the past up until now, and how that's going to change it for the future, right? So like, let's say some jobs existed here, people were happy, then they got fired because it didn't exist anymore, and they had to change to new jobs. But these people that realized it early were able to capitalize on that, and then they got very rich, and it's like they're up here and these guys are like down here, but they're sort of creeping up. And then they realized something as well, and they did this, and like, the change of leadership keeps like circulating, right? But people are getting very good at hoarding their money and like being rich for longer periods of time. But like, things are changing and they're getting panicked, and they're panicking when a situation right in the world becomes like a wild west. You can call it WWW, because when the WWW came up, so when the World Wide Web came up, it was also a wild west, because the dot-com bubble made a lot of people want to like tap into the dot-com bubble and like invest heavily into these companies, these websites and stuff like that would just have this sort of ability to like blow really well. I'm talking really fast, but I'm going to stop in a bit. And then that happened, and a lot of people lost their investments. A lot of people a couple people gained from it, like Amazon, Google, whatever the case may be, and then they blew up, and then they were able to invest in a lot of other people, and then this and the third. Right. But now we're in a period of time where AI is the new thing, right? It's a new thing, okay? It's a new thing, okay? But let's actually get serious here. Let's get very serious for a second, right? Let me talk about my experience with AI. Let me talk about it. Okay. The first time I heard of it. Remember when I told you I used to like chill and like do leisure activities before? Like a lot. I had a lot of free time because I was just, chilling. Not anymore now. Right? It was in uni. Right? Someone, like, we had this like area where you can sort of sit down, sort of, I guess, study, or, just talk with peers and whatever the case may be. And like, we have this like TV there, you can plug your laptop or phone, you can connect your phone to it, and then you can like show something on the screen, right? How I learned about AI was someone plugged their laptop, right? Let's really take this slow, because sometimes when we're very used to something, right? We'd be like, we can pass it off, okay? There are still even a lot of things about this earth that's so like normal that I'm just like, wow, somebody created that, or a group of very talented people people created these things. And I'm people. I'm like, you can look at me and you can look at somebody else that created that, you can be like, well, there's no difference. But their head is just so much, like, there's just so much in there, right? So my friend. Okay, let's not call him my friend. I don't have too many friends. But this guy, right? He plugs his laptop. I'm gonna draw a laptop. Actually, I'm a fantastic artist, but I'm not gonna do it too long. I just put a mouse, right? Right. So this guy plugs his laptop into the TV we have. Okay. He plugs it in there and just give it a button, and it just okay. Right. He plugs his laptop into the TV we have in our little study area. And he goes, guys, guys, have you seen this new like AI thing? And he's like, oh, if you just talk to it, like it talks back, it talks back to you. I was like, oh, yeah, it talks back to you, right? It talks back to you. It's like cool because it can write your assignment for you and it can do all these like cool things. I was like, hey, yeah, of course. And this time, I think it was in 2023 or 2022. No, I think 2023. Ah, damn. 2023. Right. And a lot has happened between that time and now. Like, a lot, bro. Like, it's like, I recognize so much about the world. But the annoying thing, it took me so long to learn very basic novel things. I don't know why. No, actually, I think I might because what's actually the real answer? It's genuinely because I just lacked the awareness to just no, right? I lacked the intrinsic motivation to seek out these things, but I didn't realize you have to like seek out these things. Like you genuinely have to just put yourself in situations where you're gaining these things and you're just knowing it and you're just doing stuff. I thought like all of this like hard work has been streamlined. You're just gonna be placed here, you stay there, you do this, oh you make this. And then if you want later on, if you really cared, you can just try to make more. I didn't know from the day you were born, you're meant to work as hard as possible every single day until the day you die. And if it compounds and you earn something early and that you can like, be a philanthropist or, retire, whatever. But it's a race to get it done as early as possible. Right? That race, I wasn't aware. I was in the dark. I did not know. So I was just like, yeah. But going back to the AI thing, right? He was like, oh yeah, so you can just, do this and that and it just, talks back to you. I didn't care. I didn't. I was intrigued, but I genuinely didn't care. Like this doesn't. I don't care, right? I just, bro, technology, this, that, the third. Like people talk about technology all the time. Like Apple releases the same iPhone every single year. Whoa, technology, just another camera. Just add another camera to the phone, and it's a new iPhone. Whoa, technology, technology. I didn't realize that they were flipping. What the Yo. This is how it went down. He opened up this. Like I'm gonna try to really capture the image of what was going through my mind and how I reacted to this technology. Right? He said this, we reacted. We're like, oh wow, okay, sure. We're just like, we're intrigued, so we're just like, oh yeah, sure. He opened this app, right? And it was like what you would see on your like Instagram messages page. It's just like you, a different person, and it's a chat log, right? You can text them, say where you are with. But he opened this thing, so I was like, what the flip is going on, bro? Shut up. What do you mean the thing is talking about? Like, bro, stop. He types in, oh, can you write my essay for me? And the thing started loading. And I kid you not, right? Why am I saying? Because everybody knows this now. It's like it's not new, but this was in 2023. It started loading. and it poops out everything he asked for. Not just like not lagging, not doing this, not getting things mixed up. Word for word, it was talking back. It was talking back. It talked back. But do you know what I did? Nothing. I was impressed, but I didn't do nothing. No, I didn't do nothing. I was intrigued still, even more. I was like, I didn't do nothing. I used it for my assignments and essays, but I didn't do nothing. This is a technology that is free to some degree, that can do so much, but nobody uses it. This is technology that people are talking about. Oh, it's going to get rid of this, that, and the third jobs or whatever. This is technology that's saying, oh, it's going to cure cancer. This is technology that's saying, oh, this and this and this and this is gonna happen. Human beings are genuinely crazy, right? Some of us are genuinely insane. I mean, most of us have a certain level of crazy to us. You know, like the list I made in the other. You didn't watch the other stream? Why? Go watch what I talked about crazy, and then come back. You know. So, the fact that this is like, how do these things begin? How do you even begin saying, oh wow, let me just make a computer that talks back? Like, we can just gloss over it. Like, oh, it's so proliferated now. Everybody has AI. Everyone, makes all this like what's it called? AI slop or whatever the case may be. Firstly, we put the internet in people's hands, access to any information you can, and people are doing nonsense on it. We give people access to a flipping ultra intelligent tool, and people are doing nonsense with it. I'm telling you, if there's something else after AI that does it can make you do whatever. People are still going to use it for nothing. So on here, we're genuinely going to test the limits of artificial intelligence, right? We're going to. There's going to be other things we're going to do. And the thing is, I'm going to use the resources I have. I'm not going to spend this and this because I'm not trying to, I don't know. So I'm going to use the resources I have. I'm going to see what everybody can do now, right? What everyone can do now. I'm going to test the limits. But just going back to that time is like, when you're not genuinely aware of where you're at, you don't have that timeline. And this is what I could access based on sort of being able to piece things together properly, things that are outside just my genuine field of study, right? Being able to sort of try to have a picture of the whole world of all the time, right? That life has existed in the world, have a genuine good picture. And that picture is still blurry and it's still missing some. It's like a jigsaw puzzle, right? Of your idea of what the world is, or your awareness of everything that is happening in the world in this present moment, right? And in the past. So I want to get that completely clear. Obviously, there's so much info, so much to know. But there's a reason why everybody's here, right? And for me personally, I found my why. So that why is going to be the lens to which I view sort of everything, right? Because it's all going to sort of culminate in me achieving that why. You get it? But that could also bring about some bit of like bias and this and that. So to circumvent that, you're meant to sort of really move past your own preconceived notions. Like, start from a blank slate, understand understand how things work from first principles, understand sort of everything, right? And then use your own your own humanity, or your own genuine sense of self. No, what the flip am I talking about? That doesn't make sense. And listen, you can call me out when something I'm saying doesn't make sense. Call me out. You can use your own things that you genuinely feel or that are undeniably true to you, Obviously, you can still question that, but you need to really look at where that started. Where did that thought to why I think this way, how did that thought start and how did it develop? And for everything that's ever existed, there's somewhere it started. For artificial intelligence, that technology that is like insane, that I did nothing about until now. So we're gonna do some crazy stuff with AI. Don't worry. I'm still, remember, this is still like the starting phase of what foreign, right? Don't forget the name, is going to do, right? This is still just, I'm making the content, I'm streaming, but these are all these videos are just like like thinking sessions, mind maps, illustrating ideas, doing this and that, articulating different topics, whatever the case may be, thinking how I think, piecing things together, doing it step by step every day. That's what this is. That's what all these streams, what these videos are. And if I do something outside within the year, it's also the same, right? But moving past, because I'm not looking at this as a year thing. I'm looking at this as, bro, what is gonna happen 5 years from now? Because I know what the flip happened 120 years ago. I would have never known that before, but I do now, right? Like, what lens did I look at World War II through? And what other lenses are there? What other ways can you tell the story? What about World War One? What about this and that? What did people do? How many people died in this period of time? Why was that the reason? Who is in charge? Who's in charge now? How do I climb the ladder? Like, these questions, these things are the things that we're going to discuss, me and you, this year. And then we're going to pick out pockets from this information and we're going to do fantastic things, right? So I guess I'm thinking about illustrating ideas through sort of real, like, creative endeavors, right? And also, based on my skill or my skills, I'm trying to build things. I just want to create things, even outside of just content, right? I want to create things that just bring so much value. And then when I bring value, get resources. With more resources, you can bring more value. So I don't care how old I am. I'm just always going to be creating, whatever the case may be, right? I don't know everything. So the best skill is to be able to bring people together that actually know some stuff. I should not take off my glasses. That's strange, right? To bring people together that know some stuff and do something great, manage them well so that they can bring about something that brings so much value, because the sum of the group is better than one. So I didn't go too much into AI. We will talk about it tomorrow. But what I'm saying is, like, life is chaotic. It's very chaotic. But even amidst that chaos, there is avenues you can inject yourself in to, I guess, succeed. And the only thing holding people back is one, fear, right? I think mostly just fear, because fear of failure, right? Uncertainty is still a kind of fear. If you're scared that it might fail, then all you need to do is sort of identify the risk and just manage the risk and make sure it just doesn't fail. And if you're surprised at it, then see where you went wrong and then review it and then take the appropriate next steps. And that's all for today. Peace. Oh yeah, it's been 4. Bye.